It's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now.
The WNBA is experiencing its most explosive growth ever, but there's a dark, shocking truth brewing within the league, a baffling resistance to the very phenomenon fueling its unprecedented success. As millions of new fans flock to watch, a deep-seated conflict driven by a self-destructive mindset is threatening to unravel everything. Now, a true legend of the game has finally stepped forward, breaking the silence with a raw, undeniable truth that exposes the WNBA's most crippling flaw and what it truly means for the future of women's basketball.
Out of women's basketball, for a horrible team when she arrived, outside of LeBron and Steph, she is the most well-known basketball player currently playing in the United States.
Oh, yes. And I don't think that's close.
The statistics are staggering, painting a picture of an overnight transformation that defies all previous expectations. Before the seismic arrival of one player, the WNBA, while cherished by its devoted base, largely flew under the radar of mainstream sports. Today, the landscape has shifted dramatically. Her debut season alone saw television ratings skyrocket, preseason games pulling in numbers that eclipsing typical regular season matchups, and tickets to her games becoming one of the hottest commodities in sports.
It is the second highest viewership, which is like average viewership. However, it was the highest peak of any game ever on CBS.
This phenomenon, now famously dubbed the Clark effect, isn't just about heightened interest. It's a financial juggernaut. We're talking about a projected revenue generation of over $1 billion for the WNBA this year alone. This isn't mere speculation. It's a tangible, quantifiable boom. Her presence doesn't just attract casual viewers, it commands attention, selling out venues and captivating millions who once paid no mind to women's professional basketball. Consider the breathtaking viewership numbers. A preseason exhibition game drew 1.3 million, a figure most regular season matchups only dream of.
And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
The season opener itself pulled in an astonishing 2.7 million average viewers, setting a 25-year record for a regular season game. Then, a peak of 3.3 million tuned in for a single battle against a rival team. These aren't minor upticks, they are monumental leaps, undeniable proof that a singular talent is moving the needle like no one before her. This is the kind of explosive, transformative growth any league would kill for, a literal godsend for their bottom line. Yet despite this blindingly obvious reality, a perplexing, almost defiant denial persists from the very top, threatening to unravel it all.
The loudest mics, like I stated, are the ones that's race baiting. Not even bringing up the names, but all the people that I'm seeing that are tied within the WNBA media, coaches, all type of things. They are very resentful of Caitlin Clark, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense when you have somebody that's doing what she's doing for the WNBA.
Instead of wholeheartedly embracing the singular force behind this unprecedented surge, the league has adopted a bewildering strategy of deliberate downplaying and credit dilution. The commissioner herself penned an article for a prestigious business publication, a piece that should have been a celebration of this new era. Instead, it became a masterclass in obfuscation, subtly but effectively attempting to spread the credit so thinly it became almost invisible. She highlighted years of hard work and preparation, mentioning coaches, marketing teams, and front office strategies, essentially giving a pat on the back to everyone but the primary driver of this recent explosive success.
You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was a internet rumor founded of complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this. There was none of that.
Imagine a company achieving record profits because of one revolutionary product, and the CEO then writes an article about decades of solid business practices while barely mentioning the product itself. The article strategically grouped the league's superstar with other rookies, painting a picture of a collective new wave driving the growth, despite her games alone consistently drawing numbers that far eclipsed any other. It's a calculated attempt to avoid acknowledging the inconvenient truth. One player is performing a miracle for the entire league. This isn't just about ego, it's a baffling, almost desperate attempt to shift narratives, and it forms the bedrock of a much darker, more insidious issue brewing within the league.
The kind of stuff that's being said to them, the stuff that's being said to Kelsey Mitchell, the kind of things that are being said to Natasha Howard are actually wild. People have taken a photo of these women and circled a bullseye on them and have said, it's on site when I see you. Those are actual threats.
This deliberate obfuscation of credit isn't merely an administrative misstep. It bleeds into a chilling double standard when it comes to player protection and the narrative surrounding the league. The WNBA loudly champions its no space for hate stance, yet its actions, or lack thereof, have revealed a stark, disturbing hypocrisy. Following her season opener, the league launched an investigation into alleged hate speech against players that ultimately amounted to nothing, but the damage was done. Headlines screamed of controversy, not historic viewership. This manufactured drama hijacked the narrative, dragging the league's biggest star and her rapidly growing fan base into a fabricated controversy. Meanwhile, very real, truly disturbing threats leveled against her and her teammates have been met with deafening silence.
Caitlin Clark is getting some of the grossest, most morbid comments, racist, hateful. We're talking the cup runneth over with hate. Here, Kathy Engelbert, you're no space for hate. Where are you right now?
We're not talking about casual criticism, we're talking about chilling, personal attacks. Shocking examples have surfaced, images of players with bullseyes circled on them, explicit threats of physical confrontation, and ludicrous conspiracy theories accusing her of using an assistant coach's baby as a prop. This descent into outright absurdity, this level of vitriol, has gone unaddressed by the very league that prides itself on inclusion and safety. This active silence, this failure to protect their most valuable asset from genuine harassment and even violent threats, is a glaring inconsistency that speaks volumes about the league's priorities and its capacity for self-sabotage. It created a vacuum, a desperate need for a voice of reason to cut through the toxicity.
Kathy Engelbert, in this long, drawn-out article, goes on and gives herself credit for why the WNBA has finally entered some type of mainstream conversation.
The suffocating silence from the league, coupled with the escalating, often nonsensical attacks on its biggest star, created an urgent need for a clear, authoritative voice. And then, a true giant of the game, one of the most decorated and respected figures in WNBA history, finally broke ranks. She is a 3-time champion, 2-time MVP, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist, as entrenched in the league's legacy as anyone could be.
To new followers and outside observers, our organization's success might seem overnight and even lucky, prepared by a singularly exceptional group of college players coming into the WNBA. However, we could not have capitalized on those advantages without years of hard work and preparation. Years of hard work and preparation. It might have seemed like it came overnight.
Her words carry immense weight, and when she appeared on a national sports show, she didn't mince them. She addressed the elephant in the room with a calm, piercing logic that left no room for misinterpretation. When directly asked if she felt any resentment towards the league's current star, she delivered a masterclass in perspective. "My job was to leave the game better than I came into it," she stated, cutting through the noise with surgical precision. "You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No."
They just can't. They just can't not even wrap their head around. They can't just accept, okay, this person is more popular than me, or this person is more popular than the player that we want to push.
She's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving, and I'm doing the same for her and all the women in the WNBA. This wasn't just an answer, it was a profound rebuke, a direct challenge to the thinly veiled jealousy and misguided narratives plaguing the league. She continued, imploring everyone to keep it about basketball, directly challenging the race-based talking points and baseless controversies that are actively undermining the league's growth. Her words were a clarion call for unity, a stark reminder that the true path to progress lies in collective celebration, not internal strife.
When they play in these arenas where there are 15 to 20,000 people in the stands, they are in front of people that they haven't been in front of before. That is an opportunity for all of us fans to get to know all the players on the court, all of the players in the WNBA, to pick new favorite players, to pick other teams that we want to follow along.
Her powerful intervention wasn't just a critique, it was a lesson, drawing upon the very blueprint of how successful sports leagues evolve. Think of the NBA's trajectory. Figures like Bird and Magic didn't resent Michael Jordan's unprecedented ascent. They had laid the groundwork for it. Jordan, in turn, propelled the league to global superstardom, creating a larger platform for the likes of Shaq, Kobe, and LeBron, who continued to push the boundaries. Each generation builds upon the last, taking the game to new heights, not holding it back. This is the natural, healthy progression of sports, and it's the exact mindset the WNBA desperately needs to adopt.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
The league's new superstar, despite being the target of immense scrutiny and unfair criticism, has consistently displayed remarkable humility and respect for the legends who paved her way. She constantly credits her predecessors, praises her teammates, and conducts herself with a level of grace that belies the chaos swirling around her. As another Hall of Famer, Lisa Leslie, eloquently put it, she's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. This isn't coming from some outside observer. It's coming from the very architects of the WNBA. The message echoes this sentiment perfectly. The goal is to leave the game in a better place than you found it, fostering an environment where the next transcendent talent can shine even brighter. It's a vision of collective prosperity, a future where every player benefits from the spotlight shining on the league's brightest star.
Ultimately, it comes down to the fact that there were an abundance of women in the WNBA doing tremendous work on behalf of the WNBA and the game of basketball, and you just sense that folks were feeling an absence of appreciation.
The WNBA stands at a critical juncture, facing a momentous opportunity that is simultaneously alarmingly fragile. The current, unprecedented momentum, while thrilling, is also precariously balanced, largely dependent on the presence and continued performance of its new star. A significant injury to her, even a temporary one, could send shockwaves through the league, potentially derailing the incredible growth it has achieved.
But then this dude named Michael Jordan came along. And Michael Jordan came along and he wasn't yet winning championships, but his popularity was so astronomical that the NBA practically marketed everything they could around this guy. So to know that there's an example like that as a shining example to be followed that could benefit the league, particularly down the road, why is that an issue when we've seen that such a marketing plan has worked in the past?
We've already seen hints of this fragility. A brief absence saw ticket prices for her team's games plummet dramatically, a stark reminder of her singular drawing power, while her team's dedicated fans have shown remarkable loyalty, keeping viewership strong even without her on the court. This ripple effect needs time to spread throughout the entire league. This cannot happen if the league continues to undermine its own success. This means the WNBA must do more than just acknowledge her impact. It must actively protect its most valuable asset. The inconsistent officiating, which often allows overly physical play against her to go unpunished, is a major concern.
And Kevin Durant went back and played Russell Westbrook, and they bumped shoulders and everybody was tuned in. But I want to keep it within the lines of the game. And I think that's what's the most important. Now everybody has a Twitter finger. Everybody can have reach to, the WNBA and make comments. But really the key is let's keep it about basketball. That's my thing. And when we do that, then we're able to really grow the game and what it represents.
They want to paint the narrative that it's a white and black thing going on. And now that toxic energy is spilling over to people who don't even watch the games. So now they feel like they are a part of the league just because they know or feel like they know what's going on with the race thing. Like, cut it out, man. You all want the league to grow, but you all saying keep it about basketball, but y'all not keeping it about basketball. I don't get it.
Allowing players to take unwarranted runs at the league's golden goose with zero consequences is not just irresponsible, it's short-sighted. The league needs to enforce fair play, ensuring its star is not unduly targeted. The future of the WNBA, its long-term stability and continued growth hinges on its ability to embrace this moment, to celebrate its new fans, and to unite behind the undeniable force driving its popularity.
Can you speak to that collective frustration that some may have been feeling, and whether or not you think it's something that's being overcome as you all thrive and move forward and continue to promote and uplift this league?
And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that.
This is the ultimate test for the WNBA, the opportunity for unprecedented growth, for transforming women's basketball into a global phenomenon is literally unfolding before their eyes. Yet, a deep-seated internal struggle, a perplexing reluctance to fully embrace the very catalyst of this change, threatens to squander it all. The insights shared by a titan of the game lay bare the raw truth. The path forward is clear, marked by unity, mutual respect, and a collective commitment to the game's advancement.
But now, because of visibility, listen, I still know the Dominique Wilkins. I still know, all of those players, the Dr. J's and all that stuff. I don't think they're not salty that MJ came along and grew the game. I mean, that's what it is.
If you have a good product and your biggest hurdle is getting people to sample the product, she's a godsend. There's no denying it.
The Indiana Fever's matchup on Friday versus the Sun drew 851,000 viewers, becoming the most viewed WNBA game on ION this season despite Caitlin Clark's absence.
The question is no longer if the WNBA is growing, but how it will choose to manage this growth. Will it finally learn from its self-inflicted wounds, shedding the bitterness and divisive narratives that only serve to hold it back? Or will its Achilles heel, the baffling inability to wholeheartedly accept and celebrate its new superstar, and the millions of passionate fans she's brought with her, ultimately define its limitations, ensuring it remains trapped in a cycle of missed opportunities? The world is watching. The future of the WNBA hangs in the balance, a testament to whether a league can truly embrace its destiny, or if its own internal conflicts will forever prevent it from reaching its true astounding potential.